Fresh Tracks Weekly is back. It's a new year, so we're going to try a new format. I'm still going to give an overview on some news that we think is relevant every week, stories that we find intriguing, important, usually things to do with hunting, fishing, public land, wildlife, conservation, anything in that realm. We're going to have a few extra pieces we're going to add in this year every now and then. For instance, this week, Randy is going to give a Montana legislative update. Occasionally, we'll have some field reports and different sections that we'll toss in here and there. We're probably going to evolve throughout the year and just kind of keep changing things up, see what works, see what doesn't. We're still going to hop over to Michael's Fishing Corner, and he pretty much is always out fishing, so that'll probably still be a weekly segment.
All right, guys, it's 2023. Welcome back to the Fishing Corner. We actually have some art to display this year. My buddy Casey Underwood, shameless plug, go to his website. He's got sweet art for any kind of fish you'd ever want. But so to kind of recap 2022, 211 days. That was the total. 11 days more than I expected. The tail end of the season, it was so cold out here you couldn't really go fishing, but started to ice fish a little bit more. Blake is over there giving me funny looks. But yeah, so it was a great year in 2022. Got to check off a lot of things on my list. Not going to set quite as high of a goal of that many days this year. Over the past week, did a little bit of fly fishing. We've had some warmer weather, so that's been super nice, and got to catch some winter fish. A lot of people, you see all the ice and the snow, and you think, oh, man, fishing's going to suck. But it actually is really good, especially for trout. Marcus has been getting out and doing some ice fishing. He had a heck of a day the other day, and I've been out ice fishing as well. Not been doing as good as he has, though. But so that's kind of the plan the next couple weeks. Ice fishing when it's super cold and my guides freeze on my fly rods, and then going out this weekend to a couple rivers that I really love. I'm going to take the jet boat out, and hopefully we'll have some footage for you guys next week. But Fishing Corner, it's back for 2023. Welcome to it. Thanks, Marcus, for keeping me on here. I'm glad I made the cut, and we'll see you on the next week's. We'll see you on next week's show.
For the later half of the episodes, though, that's where we're going to switch it up, and we're going to have the whole Fresh Tracks crew, at least whoever wants to jump in on that particular episode, to ask questions on the weekly topics. So we called it the deeper dive last year, but we're just going to have whoever wants to join in, ask questions, participate. Hopefully it'll lead to some interesting discussions, but we're going to try to keep it at a 20-minute limit just to keep everything a little tighter and keep us on track. For those who are watching on YouTube, you'll notice at the bottom of the video you can scroll and you can see the chapters. So if you don't want to listen to the new segment and you just want to listen to Randy's legislative update, for instance, you can scroll over, find it, click it, and do that. I'm very behind on the news and being up to date. I've been happily living my life in ignorance for the last 5 months, basically. I've been on the road, both filming and going on hunts, everywhere from Alaska to Arizona. It's been a blast. We had a great season. There's some great content, and I also got to go on some hunts where I didn't have a camera at all, which is very good for my sanity. So it was a good season, but we're back at it. I'm going to try to catch up. It might take me a while to get back in the flow of all of the things that are going on. We got the Montana Legislature coming up, which is a big thing. Randy's the one who's got a good pulse on that. And then, of course, I'll just kind of read through various articles, social media, find news stories that we find interesting. And we're going to have the whole team also contribute whatever they're going to send it to me to regurgitate to you. Basically, any interesting stories, news related to hunting, fishing, public lands, conservation, wildlife. Right, with that, we will jump into a few news items. In Montana, we have some new public land in the form of wildlife management areas. It's pretty exciting. Wildlife management areas are owned and managed by Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks, and they're managed with wildlife and wildlife habitat in mind. So pretty cool to add a little bit of acreage to that. Back in October, the Montana Land Board approved the Big Snowy Mountains Wildlife Management Area. So this is a brand new wildlife management area. They approved it for purchase. It'll be 5,700 acres of new public access, and hopefully it'll be open to hunting by next year. The land was previously donated to the Shodare Children's Hospital. Naturally, they would do better with money from the sale of that land, so they were looking for a good buyer who would benefit Montanans as a whole, and FWP seemed to be that good buyer. Unsurprisingly, the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation was a big facilitator in this process, working with all of the involved parties to get it sold to Montana FWP. Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation has also pledged $250,000 to get this up and running for infrastructure and management. The other addition to the public lands in Montana came from adding 829 acres to Mount Hagen Wildlife Management Area. Mount Hagen was already our biggest wildlife management area in the state, and this new purchase will put it up to 56,980 acres. This 829 acres was previously owned by the Burnett family, who has a history of conserving land over developing it. This family had other buyers that were interested, but they wanted to make sure to sell it to Montana FWP. Again, the big facilitator, unsurprisingly, is the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation in all of this, who also committed $37,000 to set up future property management through fencing and various other things. In less fun news, chronic wasting disease has been in more headlines, and it's driving management changes across numerous states. Here's a current map of the positive samples in Montana. I always gravitate towards Montana because it's what I'm most familiar with, but just know that similar things are happening in other states. So this map shows bigger orange circles indicate a positive sample, while the smaller circles are samples that were collected, but no CWD was detected in it. You can see a similar map in Wyoming. Instead of samples, it's showing prevalence, so the darker shades of blue show higher prevalence and the lighter shades less, and so forth. Colorado, again, darker the area, the higher the prevalence. And then here's the nationwide distribution map. So you can kind of get an idea, and this one's a little outdated, but you can kind of see how it's spreading across the US. And the point is, I guess, that CWD continues to expand and it doesn't appear to be slowing down. To combat this, there's been new legislation that was recently passed that'll put $70 million a year for 5 years towards research, detection, suppression, and management. It'll be an interesting future for deer populations across the country. Hopefully this is a step in the right direction for better mitigating this disease. Wolves in Colorado. Last year there was a ballot measure to require Colorado Parks and Wildlife to reintroduce wolves into the state. They're going to be required to do this before 2024. How this is going to look is starting to take shape as CPW has released a draft management plan. The portion of the plan detailing the reintroduction proposed capturing wolves in the Northern Rockies and releasing around 15 wolves a year until 50 wolves have been successfully reintroduced into the state, with a goal of establishing a self-sustaining population. Every wolf that they release will have a GPS collar to keep tabs on them, and they would be released on private and state land in northwest Colorado, at least 60 miles away from the borders of Wyoming, Utah, New Mexico, and tribal lands. This all comes at interesting timing because wolves have been confirmed to be naturally migrating into the state, including a breeding pair with 6 wolf pups observed last summer. The wolves will be managed under the threatened and endangered rules until the state counts at least 50 wolves for 4 years in a row, at which point they would be moved over to a less threatened status, and then they would be completely removed from threatened status if the state counts 150 wolves for 2 consecutive years, or if they ever reach over 200 wolves total. Idaho Fish and Game recently began an emergency feeding program for the Teton Canyon elk herd over concerns of public safety, as these herds were hanging out close to roads and livestock operations. Generally, Idaho's policy is to let wintering wildlife survive on natural forage throughout the winter, but they do have this plan in place for certain circumstances, which include excessively harsh winters, significant loss of winter forage, damage to private property, or causing a public safety concern. The act of feeding winter wildlife has long been a concern for various reasons, but the continued spread of CWD has brought up more questions how concentrating wintering wildlife will affect the disease transmission. Wyoming is at the center of this, as they have had long-term feeding operations that elk have become reliant on over the years. With Montana and many other legislative sessions coming up, Randy is now going to give us a breakdown of what's in store for Montana and how similar things are likely happening in your state.
So one of the things that we always have in this time of year, we call it legislative season, is most every state's legislature is in session. My home state here in Montana is in session. We're on day number 4. And a lot of things happen in legislative sessions that affect our hunting and fishing, access, conservation. And I know you don't want to have to deal with it all and keep track of it all. But sometimes some really good opportunities could be had if we were there and we spoke. And sometimes we lose if we don't speak. So the way to do this, there's a couple ways you can do it. I always tell people, you can either do it on your own, or you can rely on someone to help you stay informed. Now, the easy way is to sign up for some of the email lists of groups in your state that we'll send you an email blast. Hey, this issue related to hunting, or this issue related to fishing or to access or whatever. Your state has groups that are at your legislature and will keep you updated. Sign up for their email list. That's a really effective way. The other way you can do it is go to your state legislature website, which right here I'm on Montana's, and I typed in, okay, Montana fish and wildlife issues. So all the bills in 4 days, we have 14 bills already being sent to committees in the first 4 days. We have another 150 some that are in draft form to be sent to the committees. These are just fish and wildlife bills. That's how much activity goes on in your state. I just got an email yesterday from North Dakota where there's a bill where the legislature wants to take powers away from the state agency about managing baiting for big game. There are issues going on in Colorado right now. There are issues going on in Washington. In whatever state you live in, when your legislature is in session, your hunting and fishing and recreation are fair game to them. So these are the ways that you stay informed. Either sign up for someone's mailing list, read it, take action on the ones that interest you, or go and do it yourself. Bookmark the state legislative website of the state you live in and pay attention to it. You can see what bills are going to what committees, and there's usually a committee that handles, like a DNR committee or a Fish and Wildlife committee or whatever. Keep an eye on those and pay attention. And when you see something, speak up. Try to get some of your friends to speak up. And maybe when you do that, you'll get more benefit through what's going through your legislature rather than losing things with what's going through your legislature.
This is exciting. Everyone's here. We got this mess of cords on the table.
I know.
This is the squad minus Matthew. Matthew's not here today.
I was gonna say Matthew's remote, so unfortunately he's the one of the crew who's not with us. But this is like the backbone of Fresh Tracks.
He doesn't like being on camera anyhow. So.
No.
He could be the producer.
Yeah.
There you go.
He doesn't have to be on camera, but he can press all the buttons.
Yeah.
But anyway, so my goal of this is to have everyone included for these Fresh Tracks weekly episodes. So we can have single topics each week to discuss and bounce questions off of. And I feel like it'd be good to sometimes have people who don't know anything about the topic, because that's a nice starting point to ask questions. If you don't have any knowledge on it, just ask questions and let's talk through it and try to figure it out. But for this week, I figured we'd just kind of do introductions and let everybody introduce themselves, tell the audience what they do. We have some new faces. We've had some turnover in the last year, but this is the crew for now. So let's start with Blake. Blake's our newest member of Fresh Tracks.
Newest member. I started mid-September. Made a big move from consumer packaged goods industry over to video editing. So complete career shift at 28. So don't be afraid to do it if you feel like that's part of your life's path. I moved from Indiana all the way to Montana. So still getting used to all the snow and all the mountains, but it's been great so far.
All right. David?
Should I be looking at the camera?
No, man, we're just having a
I didn't know,
conversation.
'cause,
You can
this
do whatever
camera's
you
set up.
want. I guess if
All
you
right.
want to talk to the camera, you're welcome to. But
Hey, my name is David Samelo.
put your mic up just a titch. There you go.
Oh, yeah. See, I'm
There you
already
go. You're good.
Thing. Okay. I do editing for the Polished Fresh Tracks episodes. I've been doing that for quite a few years now. For Randy.
Yeah, your name has been on numerous credits.
I did a
You have done some
I was in a paddlefish
pretty-
episode.
Yeah. and you'll be in the episode next
Montana
week.
deer.
Everybody will see. We're putting out Montana deer next week
Oh, fantastic.
with the crew, so you'll
Yeah.
see some more of David.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exciting stuff.
Who are you, dude?
I'm Marcus. I don't know what I do. I bounce around. I like to film things and then tell stories. That's what I do, and that's what I've been doing for the last little bit. I feel like pretty much everyone knows Randy, but what's your what are you working on right now, Randy?
It's legislative season right now, so I got to wear a hat so I don't pull my hair out. It just is what it is. Every anytime it's legislative season. That's what I get to work on a lot. And then it's application season also. And so I'm of not much value around here other than I think everybody is comfortable asking me their questions, not about tax advice, but about where to apply. So they know if they ask me tax advice, it's going to be worth what they paid for it. So I heard you guys Michael, you were asking tax advice yesterday, and Marcus
sure
was
was.
answering.
Yeah,
about
very
stonks.
poorly.
So
Marcus is a big stonk guy these days.
As I've heard you say, the advice is worth what you paid for it.
Yeah, I was kind of slighted, Michael. I've been a CPA for 35 years, and you didn't even come and ask
Well, I didn't
me.
want to bother you because I know you're busy in there doing stuff.
All right.
That was great. I feel like Randy heard us and he kind of wanders into the room.
That's a common occurrence.
He's
in
like,
the
oh, someone's
office.
talking about
Like it
taxes.
usually starts with me and Michael just BSing, and then Jace chimes in, and then slowly it just everyone funnels into the same room. But anyway.
Jace,
What's up?
tell us what you do, man.
Yeah, my name's Jace. I kind of do whatever's asked of me. This fall, I did a lot of filming, though. Filmed Randy quite a bit this fall, and now that the hunting season's over, I'm kind of just doing editing and filming in the studio and helping with whatever.
And proposing to his soon-to-be
Yeah.
wife.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Recently
Congrats,
proposed,
congrats.
engaged, so
Oh,
Congrats.
yeah.
I'm Paul Kemper, and I'm the marketing manager, but basically have my hands in every bucket. Emails, social media, marketing stuff, podcast production, some photo stuff, and video editing when I don't want to bother the guys, and I'll say, I'll try and do it myself. And then I ask for help.
I feel like Paul also has a pretty good pulse on public land issues too, which is
Yeah,
which is
making
fun.
phone calls this morning. It's definitely, like Randy said, the legislative
Yeah.
session. We're in the thick of it.
All right, Michael.
I'm Mike P. I've worked here for a bit, and I don't know. It kind of just depends on the day what I do. A lot of video editing, scheduling. Been hanging out in the office a little bit more, but sometimes I get to go on some hunts and do some fun stuff, fishing, bullshitting, good times.
And he runs the YouTube channel. So
Yeah.
if you got comments on the YouTube channel,
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah. Well,
Mr. P, is that what you go by now these days?
Mike P.
Mike P.
Like Pete.
MP, Michael.
Is this a work in progress? Or?
I don't know. I'm just rambling.
But yeah, I feel it. So next week we'll have I think we should have a topic to discuss each week. That's the goal. And I imagine we'll get off the rails a little bit, but I want to set a timer and keep it at 20 minutes. And then that's like a nice goal to like try to, this is mostly for Randy because sometimes Randy can just go and go and go. But I think a 20 minutes limit is a fun challenge to try to get all the information out in that 20 minutes.
Are we still calling
see.
it Fresh Tracks Weekly?
That's what I'm going with right now.
All right.
That's
like
the
it.
working title. The episode 25, I think this is.
Yeah, welcome back, dude.
Welcome back.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, it was like a nice 5-month gap. We were busy. We were out in the field a lot, filming a lot.
Obviously hard to
Hunting a
do a
lot.
weekly show when you're never here.
I mean, yeah. I was gone, 91 days in the field this year, so that was fun. But yeah, and we got a lot of projects we're working on. I feel like everyone's, there's a lot of stuff we work on together and then people work on separately. But I know David's in the midst of editing the Fresh Tracks episodes.
Mhm.
I'm working on Anyfin Goes episodes. So if you've seen our fishing series, Anyfin Goes is mostly Michael and I. We include some other people every now and then, but going around fishing, and we're working on Lake Trout episode, which is
Yeah.
a super cool story.
3 episodes coming out this spring, probably like March timeframe.
Yeah.
That's what we're shooting for.
Yeah.
But those should be pretty sweet.
Yeah, excited about that. We got some cool stories, Colorado mule deer, talking about all the various issues of, well, not all of the issues of mule deer. I'm trying to tell a story where I'm only going into some of the lesser known things that affect mule deer, like human recreation.
Riding bikes.
Yeah, I think I think everybody likes to think that they don't have an impact on mule deer or just wildlife in general, but it's kind of the story of a death from 1,000 cuts. Every little thing has an impact, and just trying to, tell that story a little bit, because I also am the person who likes to hike and mountain bike and ski and shed hunt, and those are all those things that
just little by little, affect especially winter and mule deer. But anyway, so I'm excited about that story. That's one of the big ones I'm going to start working on soon. I might take that over from David. I might commandeer that and try to edit myself.
Hey, man, that's welcome.
I don't edit very often, but sometimes I really
Don't edit often, but when you do, it's pretty damn good.
I don't know if it's good, but I enjoy it every once in a while. But I also start to go insane staring at computers. So.
Yep.
Yeah. What are you excited on, David?
There are a lot of really cool episodes and stories I think we have this year. So I'm in the middle of editing one where really highlights the importance of like scouting for your hunts success. But also I just think we got a lot of stuff on our plates this year that are going to improve everything as a whole and just be really fun. So I'm excited for this year.
Right on.
Yeah, we have a lot of unseen footage that's going to be very cool, I think. This season was pretty epic.
Yeah.
Almost every hunt was a really good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy because I feel like I wasn't even. I mean, we're so spread out now. A lot of times, I feel like I'm disconnected. I guess like I wasn't on a lot of the
91 days.
I was with you a lot of them. This year, I also was very selfish in the fact that I had a special elk permit, and so I kind of went off the deep end on that one a little bit, but.
We were just sending out signals. You still alive, Marcus?
Yeah, Marcus get mauled by a grizzly.
Yeah, but
So Blake's our resident waterfowl guy now. I guess, I mean, Jace, you like to waterfowl hunt a lot too, but how's the waterfowl season been so far, Blake?
Well, I think that for me, my first year in Montana, it's been a little subpar as compared to what I thought. Coming from Indiana, it's can be like a desert with ducks and geese, and it doesn't really get good until super late in the season. I thought since Montana has such a long season, I think it's 101 days. Like it's only 60 in Indiana, so it's like you get 41 more days. It's like, man, it's going to be mallards everywhere, geese everywhere, and definitely could find them and definitely like got on some birds here and there, but it wasn't as crazy as I thought. And I think it's just maybe I need to get out more, do a lot more scouting, see more of Montana, and figure out like where's the good spot, get a little more adequate or acquainted with when birds are going to be in certain spots, and just year after year just improve. So it was a decent season, had a lot of fun. It's not over yet. We got one more weekend and a few days after that, so hopefully we can find some more.
Sweet.
Who's turkey hunting this year?
All of us.
Oh, we're going turkey hunting. It's just a matter of whether we're filming it or not. That's up
I'll
to you.
film it. You guys shoot them.
All right.
We can just rotate around, camera guy, shotgun,
We didn't have any turkey hunts on YouTube last year. And I didn't miss it because I don't watch turkey hunting. But I know you guys do. So.
Yeah, I think that getting out in the spring a little bit more for turkeys will be great. You just never know when you like get outside what you can experience. Like we've had some pretty funny moments over the years of me and Marcus hunting together. I know that Paul, you guys killed one, and I'd like to do some more bear hunting around here too as well. So
yeah, we definitely.
I think this spring there'll be some fishing content that I'm looking forward to doing. There'll be some turkey hunting and hopefully some bear hunting as well.
For sure, turkeys and bears are what get me excited in the spring. But
I feel like bears are much higher. I always bear hunt, but it's much higher on my list this year because we're expecting our first in April, and it's going to be tough.
Paul's having a kid.
Oh yeah,
I feel like it's tough to kill a turkey around this area.
Oh yeah,
I feel like you got to travel, so it's nice that I could glass for bears from my front porch. And
Everybody watching who has a kid and been through that first month of having a kid, Paul, they just laughed when you said, your baby's due in April and you're going to turkey hunt or you're going to bear hunt in May.
There's 2 weeks of bear season
Let's
before
start
the baby gets here.
I was saying you have like
I got $20 that says Paul doesn't get 5 days of bear hunting yet with a new baby. Anyone in on that
I just
pool?
took some money from Marcus yesterday,
Yeah,
so I might become a betting man.
I'll throw in 10 as well.
5 days?
Yeah, I had
All
5
right.
days.
That'll be
I had
interesting.
5 full days of bear hunting.
Full days?
Yeah.
Hey, you don't just get to go out in the afternoon.
my God.
Gotta log your hours.
Oh, man.
Those days are long. It's easy to get in like a couple hours and call that a hunt.
It is true.
I'm an evening bear hunter, dude. Like early season whitetails. I don't even go out in the morning.
That's the other part. Let's see. Jace, you're soon to be married. Blake, you're soon to be married.
Yep.
Paul got married last summer, was it?
June.
Yeah. Michael, I don't know what his status is other than if he doesn't get Cassie in the net pretty soon, he's a fool. Marcus has been married and David's been married a long time. So, and Matthew, he's been shacked up for a long time now. I feel like since I've been married 34 years, you guys get more marriage advice than probably anything. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good, though.
Is it any of it any good, I guess?
Well, I'm not married, but I take some of your advice, and I think it's pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, peace, not justice is
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I just had my nieces at my house for the last week, and they're between 18 and 21. And I was telling them, now, here's how you sort this stuff out. And they're looking at me like, for real? And they're looking at my wife like, is he serious? I'm like, serious as can be. That's the benefit of being an uncle or being the employer. You can say those kind of things, you know. That's really, I don't have any risk in it. You know, if my advice doesn't work out, that's you get to
problem.
you get to pick up the pieces. So,
Yeah, we got a lot of fun stuff coming up for content, hunts, everything. But anyway, we're gonna cut it off. I forgot to set a timer. I'm already
It's at 14 minutes.
14. Oh,
Almost.
you can see it.
Yeah,
Nice.
we're at
Okay.
14:40.
Look at that. I got my computer in the way.
Do you have any, Marcus? Do you have any goals for 2023?
Goals for
Yeah,
find
personal.
good stories and tell good stories. That's my goal for as far as fresh tracks for
Yeah.
sure. And definitely have like one big adventure hunt, which is hopefully in Alaska. We'll see.
yeah.
But yeah, what about you? Got the good question.
Yeah, I think for like for fresh tracks wise, like just learning as much as possible.
Yeah.
Like in the editing space and even like in big game, because like I wouldn't consider myself a big game hunter, never have considered myself a big game hunter, just mainly ducks and turkeys and geese. So definitely learning as much as possible from you guys and hopefully translating that to my work in the office as well as like in the field. I'd say those are my goals for this year.
Right on. Blake's getting a bow, a hand-me-down
Yeah.
bow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my bow from years ago.
Yeah.
It'd be fun.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Do we want to? Are we going through the circle now with
Are we
goals?
gonna do
Is
it?
that
We
is
do
that
it?
happening? We
Sure.
got how we got.
As
We
well.
got.
I can do the film.
How much
Randy,
time we're
what
in?
are your goals for 2023? You got any like hunt goals or like personal goals or anything like that?
Just not to gain 15 pounds
Yeah.
this winter. That's my most important goal. No, Ty 3 Arrow Stubblefield filmed me in Uncle Larry in Arizona, and he filmed me with Marcus one time in Arizona, and he said, I've been on a hunt where you had the tag and one when someone else had the tag, and you seem to have way more fun when someone else has the tag. And I thought about that on the drive home. I'm like, I think he's right. So this year I'm more focused on just helping and being the guy that helps out and go on as many hunts as I can, but I don't need. At my age, I've shot more than my share. Don't get me wrong. If I get a fun tag or it's a fun story, I'm going to do it. But I don't have any big goals like that this year.
Gotcha.
David,
That's great.
let's go to you.
That's pretty easy.
Paul's goal was to hunt bears for 5 days.
now that I know that it's 8-hour days, I don't know if I can swing it.
Basically, just getting elk this year.
Yeah.
So I've gone out a couple days last year, and I didn't see a single elk. And so finally kind of want to do that this year. Be serious about it instead of just kind of bumming around.
Right on.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Cool. Jace, what do you
Okay.
think?
My goals. More of a fresh tracks work related goal. I'd like to come up with a cool idea and make a cool video on it. I don't know whether it's a hunt, a mini series, something like that. I think that'd be fun. And hopefully the audience would enjoy it. Personal goal, I really want to spend some time this season and kill an archery bull. So I killed one. I've only killed one elk, and that was 2 years ago.
Was that archery?
It was
Yeah.
with my bow.
Right on.
I guess I take the back. It doesn't have to be archery. I'll kill any elk. But I feel like my chances are easier so far living in Montana. I feel like my odds have been better in archery season than rifle season. It's tough. So kill bull.
Yeah, it's a lot. It seems like it's a lot easier to locate elk during archery season in Montana,
Yeah.
in the general units, than it is late season rifle elk hunting. I'm with you, man. It's hard.
You should go to outdoorclass.com and use promo code Randy.
I
There's
had
a really
the
sweet
fortunate
course.
pleasure of filming the entire outdoor class with Corey and a little bit of Randy's course too. So I got a little first-hand look at it, which, yeah, I would agree. Anyone else out there, go to outdoor class.
Look at those subtle plugs.
Use promo code Randy. Save 20%.
Jordan and I did goals last night and wrote them
nice.
down on paper. And my hunting goal this year, her goal was to hunt 10 days, which I'm going to do my best to help her achieve that goal. But I really want to kill an elk with my longbow, so I put it on paper. I think it's going to help it maybe actually happen.
All right.
For me, I just want to read more. I've started reading a book this year. Or I guess it's only been a couple of days this year, but I started reading a book a couple of days ago, and I'd like to read a couple books this year, just help with my brain, you know. And then the other big one is I'd like to go on a backcountry elk hunt or a deer hunt by myself, and with that comes getting in better shape and stuff. So I don't necessarily want to make it my goal to go to the gym all the time, but I want to get in better shape so I can feel more confident going into the backcountry by myself, or maybe with one of you guys or something. But that's the big goal, is kind of just to go on a backcountry hunt. And a lot of the stuff that I've done in the past has been with you guys, so I've had you guys to rely on with all your experience. And we've always brought llamas and stuff, but I've never done something where it's you go in, you got everything you need on your back and self-sustained for a few days. So that's kind of my goal for 2023.
You're 20 seconds over.
Oh, God. All right. Well, we better cut it off. I think we started a little early. So with that, we're at our 20-minute limit. And next week, we're going to have a good topic to discuss and ask questions, and we'll probably get distracted, but 20 minutes.
All right.
All right.
See you guys.
you.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Or listening.
All right. See ya.
Heck yeah.